Feature Friday.
The freshest. Jungkook, the main vocalist of BTS. That's the title of the video.
This got requested a lot in the when we watch kind of like the Jungkook's what is it?
Golden Closet films.
That's it, Golden Closet films. And I've been loving this kind of week. We checked out like BTS's behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Then we checked out like what it was like to be a YG dancer as
Yeah.
well. And then this guy requested a lot, so I thought we'd check it out now. And yeah, he is the main vocalist of BTS, isn't he? Right? So
I think he's one of the main vocalists. Yeah.
right. So I've always considered like I
But
think like,
he is a jack of all trades though. Like he can do everything, and I think that's what makes him so wow.
well, I think a lot of people in the Korean industry are like that, which is very bizarre.
Yeah, which is like wow.
Which says a lot about their training, but obviously I've said it before. I think Jungkook is probably the best pop vocalist right now, and one of the most successful at the moment. So I'd love to see like a Justin Bieber Jungkook project, or you know the biggest pop
And
vocals in the world.
I don't think it's that far away though.
I don't think so either.
think it's that impossible.
Oh
so.
right, because of the whole Justin Bieber label thing with the whole.
Oh yeah, that's
Confirm and all that
true.
stuff.
That
Could-
too,
yeah,
but
could
that's not what I meant. But I was like, it's already happened with Jason Derulo, Charlie Puth, and I can feel like the breach is not that crazy.
If it was
Of
to
the
happen,
thought.
I would love the whole of BTS though,
Me too.
and then
I
just
would-
get
I
like a
would like-
verse.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would love that too.
Because BTS would bring such a diverse sound, like you wouldn't be able to get that anywhere else.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Anyways, let's get
Anyways,
this
let's check this one out. Apparently, there's a lot of like really interesting moments in this.
Okay,
Um,
Jungkook, the main vocalist of BTS.
I think it gets a little technical.
Oh, nice. All right, so someone.
You don't need no auto-tune, dude.
Literally.
Clips like this, but the clips like this, Jungkook singing live like this into just his cell phone camera, no special fancy effects, no special fancy microphone, nothing, just his voice, just the camera. This is how you tell if someone's a real vocalist.
That's true though.
Also interesting is that everyone's opinion.
Oh, you know, he's just hitting
Chilling.
an F5.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal. That's insane.
That is
Wow.
true. That is
Wow.
kind of crazy.
That is an F5. It's like higher than I've heard most males sing. in any
That's
pop song,
true.
too.
You hear that? That's like auto-tune. So much control.
I love
Do you
his
guys
sound.
realize how
He's got
precise
such a
this
cool
is?
voice.
That guy has the bass fucking amped up to the.
Down here. So
내가 만든
resonant.
데모를 보통
Producer
Jimbo.
and singer. Okay.
다른 팀들이나 뭐 다른 가수들이랑 작업을 할 때 내
Okay.
데모가 뭐 내가 무슨 엄청 어려운
Fair enough.
그런 노래를 막 그런 건 아니지만
I see.
어떤 내 스타일이 있다 보니까 그거를 이렇게
That's cool.
한 80% 정도만
That's not
That's
so bad.
구현을
that's what
하는
happens
경우가
when you
많은데
get the
실제
best of
음반에
the
나왔을
best.
때 정국은 완전히 거의 모창처럼 다 캐치해가지고 하더라고요. 그래서 되게 듣는 귀랑 그걸 표현해내는 그
Express it in his own way.
스킬이 되게 엄청나다고 생각을 했고
That's important to highlight though. Like directions that you get given by producers and how it's actually translated by the artist.
Yes.
I think that's a really like important moment to highlight because sometimes it gets lost in translation, like the original intent of the producer gets lost in translation, and that's okay because sometimes it's better, but some of the times it makes the whole project a little, it feels lost. It feels like something hasn't clicked yet because obviously it got lost in translation. You know what I'm saying?
I think what's also very peculiar about the the way they do things in the Korean music industry is that, right, that you either have producers or you have writers by the label. I think BTS is probably on their side of they like to write most of the stuff or like to at least be involved in most of the stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the difficulties of there is that you get given a piece or the producer has specific directions given higher up, and then you have to try and execute them.
Yeah.
And 80% is not bad, but then to have someone like 80% is great, man. That's a good project. But then to have obviously you have the anomalies like the unicorns of the industry like Jungkook that they are able to kind of make it their own and also
Maintain the essence that they're asking for.
that the producer and the original writer kind of were looking for.
Yeah.
That's a skill on his own, and that's why sometimes like it's obviously impressive that he can hit an F5, right? And he's not chilling there, but he fucking just hitting it is unbelievable. But what I find more impressive about Jungkook, it's that versatility, and that's kind of like a capability of taking pieces. Like I love seeing that Charlie Puth video where it's he becomes obsessed, engulfed in this idea of how would I sing it, what would I do, what do you allow me to do. So it's already as if he was working with a producer.
That's right.
Or another writer.
It's like what are the details that you want to highlight that I will maintain as a vocalist, but how much freedom are you giving me to also put my stamp on it?
Yep.
And I think vocalists kind of sometimes we lose that sight of like boundaries. Where are the boundaries when it comes to making stuff that is not 100% yours, because you don't know, because they're just guidelines, right? But how much you stick to them, and how much are you able to find something different within those boundaries? It's a hard balance to find. So it obviously shows his experience of working with several different people and different mindsets, and years of molding your own way of creating that will please not that will please, but that will fulfill it will take every checkbox, you know.
Every box,
and that's really that's a skill on its own, because it's a difficult concept to grasp.
So he's an impressive fella.
Yeah,
and I
really
think he's certainly someone to try and model as if you are either starting to sing, or you're already a singer. There's definitely fucking lessons for everyone. Then I think that's why like all those vocal coaches and stuff kind of become impressed by him, because he's like he has managed to utilize sound technique and good foundations and good principles, but has managed to add a very unique flair without sacrificing without sacrificing technique stability or longevity.
That's right.
You know, so it's
I
pretty
agree.
impressive.
It's pretty crazy. I agree.
유독 생각나는 건 그 정국의 그 보컬 그
Ability,
표현력,
yeah.
그 캐치하는 거와 그걸 진짜
Yeah,
구현해내는
it's related to
능력이 되게 인상적이었고.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Jungkook joined Big Hit Entertainment, now Big Hit Music under Hype labels, at the age of 13. On June 13, 2013, Jungkook made his debut as a vocalist at the age of 15.
건물도 너무 높고.
The buildings were so tall.
That explains why he's so good at things that other people aren't.
Yes.
You know, because the exposing yourself to such environment that is so harsh, it's so demanding and consuming at the same time, because it like takes all of your freaking brain power and your moral development as well, because you're discovering the world as a teenager, but you're also forced to grow into craftsmanship, you know, which is so it's an anomaly. It's a complete anomaly, and that explains why he's such a unicorn in the industry. Not only because of his innate talent that are already there, but it's that combination of elements that are aligned with great technique, great execution, and fantastic stage presence, that it all like packs up and adds up when you hear his story.
That's so apparent. That's what I mean. It's like the Korean industry, music industry, does a lot of things correctly. But it is ruthless. And it is tough. Like, that's rough.
Just think about it. You're sending off your 13-year-old boy to the main city alone.
But it's the way we do other things.
That's true.
In sports.
But it's not the common.
It's
not a common
and I never understood why. In arts, I mean, it depends. Like, ballet is like that. Contemporary is like that. Theatre is like that. Cheerleading is like that.
Gymnastics
is like that, right? That's kind of more on the sporting side. I've never understood why, like, especially in the pop genre.
Yeah.
Right.
Why don't we do it like that?
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that that's the only way to do it. Obviously, it isn't. I mean, in America, that's not the way.
Yeah.
But
the results are so strong.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's so many lessons to be learned, and I think the first time, maybe a year and a half ago, when we first found out about just the Korean industry overall, and people like Jungkook and Jimin and J-Hope, right, who's like an actual genuine dancer, and it's like, dude, these guys are dangerous, because all it takes is just time for people to realize like there are levels to this game, and then once you see these levels, you're like, everything else is shit.
That's true. Absolutely
Because
true.
13 years of training is fucking crazy.
It is. It is.
But that's what it takes to be a pro.
That's what it takes to understand how much you got in you. It constantly
Tough,
constantly tests you. You know.
Also, of course, again, unicorn. Like the guy is not normal.
Absolutely. It's definitely one of those anomalies. 100% of the like they are the exception of the rule. Like the rule goes completely, like you might have exactly everything that they did, but it's just them. It's like they're the anomaly.
There are negative things about the training system. I understand, and I really loved having those conversations with you guys in the comments. And
I
stuff
think
like that.
psychologically it takes a toll. Like,
It's rough.
It definitely must do stuff up here.
But when it comes to the actual product and the talent,
You get this.
Yeah. Go on.
You get this. Like, oh, come on. Handsome and cool. You're handsome and cool.
What am I, right?
Yeah.
Can I be the missed while watching some of his videos?
동기가 빠지면 되게 데미지가 세요. 물론 7명 누가 또 그렇지만
That's awesome.
Yeah.
From the big boss, man.
정국이는 어쨌든 역할 메인 보컬을 담당하고 있고 퍼포먼스적으로도 본인이 센터로
That is
backbone.
tough. There is such
굉장히
a
많은 친구거든요.
there is such a responsibility with being in the constant spotlight, you know.
There's no replacement for
정씨
the fella.
당신이 없었으면 방탄소년단은 없었어.
That's
Oh.
true though.
Oh, he's like, you know.
이제 여러분들을 만날 수 있었던 거.
I love you.
Oh, dude.
한국에서 제가 들은 목소리 중 가장 최고인 것 같아요.
I agree.
Dude, that's coming from V, dude.
Literally.
Not from a dumbass like me, from V.
Amazing talent.
다른 댄스하고 방탄소년단에 기부를 해줘서 너무 고맙고 너 때문에 우리 그룹이
That's awesome.
이렇게까지 올라올 수 있었던 것 같아.
That's true. I'm touched.
I think you're the most talented person I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
재능 있는 사람 중
Look at Jay, look at Jay.
Yeah.
앞으로도
So embarrassing, I'm getting goosebumps.
중국으로서
I hope we can make good music.
멋진 음악 그리고 멋진
Dude, the relationship is golden. Freaking hell.
참 좋겠다.
Yeah, compliments like those matter, man. Genuine.
Especially when they come with the people that you've grown up with.
이제 저도 이제 외부 작업도 많이 하고 많은 뮤지션들이랑 이야기도 많이 해보고 하는데 제가 여태 본 뮤지션 중에 가장
That's
재능
brilliant.
있는
It's true though. He's incredible.
항상 똑같이 이야기를 하거든요.
Fuck from sugar, dude.
I know. You're taking big names
다들
here.
수긍하시더라고. 너무 잘한다고.
그냥 타고난
네,
Bon
제
vocalist.
성악이 많아요.
Yeah, he is.
너 하면
Definitely.
보컬이고.
That's what I was talking about. That innate talent.
그래서 네가
Kinda
생각하는
X Factor
너의
was
장점은
better.
뭐인 것 같아? 너의 보컬적인 부분.
그러니까 일단 발성이나 이런 전문적인 부분에서는 솔직히
Okay.
아직도 많이 부족하다고 생각을 하고 있고 근데 그렇다고 해서 나의 그러니까 발성을 지켜가면서 나의
It's a
색깔을
good word to
유지하고
have.
싶지 않아요. 어쨌든 이거는 제가 계속 보완해 나가야 되는 문제긴 하지만
Fair enough.
이제 저는 나의 색은 명확하다고 생각해요.
Mm-hmm.
그리고
명확하지.
색은 명확하다고 생각하고 그리고 좀 다양한
Various colors,
색을
yeah, that's
섞어서
important.
쓸 수 있지 않나. 그러니까 곡 분위기에 맞춰서.
I think most people know what he means by
Definitely.
colors as well.
Yeah.
저는 어쨌든 제가 좀 가지고 있는 장점이라고 생각하고
Yeah.
있는 것 같아요. 전문적으로 내가 발성이 완벽하다는 건 절대로 아니지만 어쨌든 제가 보컬 레슨을 이제 연습생 때부터 지금까지 안 해본 건 아니지만 많이 안 했던 게
Okay.
발성을 고치려고 하면 색깔이 단만 한 번에 무너져요. 색깔이 무너져서 저는 이제 색깔을 지켜나가면서 이제 발성적인 부분을 계속해서 그냥 제 스스로 보완하고
That's
싶은
so
거거든요.
weird. Usually it's the other way around. You want to train, you want to find out how many skills, how many things you can learn, so then you can find your color. But and your own style. But in his case, he was pretty clear
He's probably
right
just-
off the bat. This is my sound. This is what I can do.
I think it's because he debuted really early.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't play to like that whole idea of like comfort zones. No, I think it's more of a grounding situation. Like I need to be rooted first
Not
in order to like then discover what else I can build off of that
Right.
that foundation. Which again, it's an interesting thought process. Like that's not usually how it goes. You know?
Well, that is there's certainly a peculiar one that he chose his. He kind of found his color first, and then he wanted to maybe enhance those colors through training, but then found that through too much technical focus, the color actually starts to merge into other things.
Yeah,
and
they
maybe
become
that
something
shifts,
else. Yeah.
Right, and maybe because he was already under the spotlight and had already picked a sound,
Yeah.
he didn't
had
want
to
to change
stick
that
with it,
sound.
yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like
Yeah, but that's
he
that's
has
so much pressure though.
sure part of the job.
Yeah, but it like honestly, as an ever growing artist, that kind of that can be like shackles, and like in that growth and development, artistically speaking, because then how do you know whatever you evolve into,
Right.
it's gonna be liked? Because people are used to the sound, people are used to a style, and so that's why I really admire his progression in things like okay, so I found my style, I found what people resonates with, right? This is the Bangtan style, and people know whenever they hear it, this is Jungkook,
Yeah.
right? And it's unmissable, like it's unmistakably Jungkook, and it's really interesting that he, solidified those foundations, then to build upon that as the years keep progressing, right? And I really like the fact that he's constantly pushing himself to find new techniques, find something different that adds to that set of foundations, interesting progression though. Interesting. This is so fun.
Yeah.
I love this video.
It's good doubts to have though, especially when you're at the top of the world like that.
Yeah.
You may not think that you might be the most technically sound, or that there's still room to grow, but you have found your color, and that's enough. But that's why like doubt sometimes is important. We were discussing this before. It's like having the mentality that you may not be the best in the world is what maintains you at the best in the world.
Yeah,
You know?
like
It doesn't let you rest.
keep pushing you to strive for the best.
May it be the best.
Mindset to have.
No, I think it is, and I've been around a lot of top athletes, and I've spoken to them about that, especially because I look at this
Yeah.
as a
sport.
no, like these guys
mentality.
are athletes basically.
Yeah.
They do this for a living. They
Yeah.
train, they eat, they train. So
And then they perform.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're basically athletes in my eyes. But what they, I don't know if it's the best like psychological approach in terms of rest and calmness. Like you're never gonna be able to rest,
Yeah.
right? It's very stressful,
Yeah.
but it certainly is one to maintain your skill level at a check.
I think it's, if you strive to be good at anything, this is the way you gotta think.
Maybe I think so too, but I don't know.
That's just my personal opinion,
Cool.
but I just think that's how it should go.